Hi guys, welcome back. And this week we're just going to talk about a couple of good questions in. Uh, I want to talk about kind of three key things then, and I have a couple people on. So if the people on if they have any questions first, I'd love to hear them. And then if not, I can get cracking into the my thoughts and then onto a few questions that I had. Let's see Brenda and Una back on the call. Teresa and hey, how are you? So, okay, so first things that I want to talk about was some okay, a couple of things I had, a few thoughts I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and I had three things then popped up into my head. The first thing, if you have an injury, if you get injured, don't worry about cross training for at least 2 weeks. Okay. And I would say up to 4. So what I mean is, like, with elite athletes, if you're getting ready for like a race, so say the only caveat to that would be like if I was going to do a marathon or something and we're 6 weeks out and it's like, well, I need to keep this fitness, I'll do some then. But in general, right, if you have an injury, it's giving you it's basically telling you that there was some kind of like energy imbalance. You know, like the way if you get sick, it's like we probably were pushing it a bit too hard. We had an infection that we couldn't fight off, and then so it's best to rest up. And it's the same with an injury to essentially like a lot of us either get sick or injured. Okay, so what we want to do then is if you have an injury, take that time to double down onto the rehab that you're doing, onto strength training. Okay, too often people are like, they have an injury and they're like, okay, I'll get onto the bike, I'll get onto the rower. And it's like, look, you've probably been the load pattern that you're doing already is probably too high for where you're at, to your capacity at the moment. So use the time if you have an injury or a niggle. Don't be worried about don't be worried about like, oh, keeping up your fitness. Really, you're probably a little bit maybe too fit for where you are at the moment. And you would be better off using the time to focus on the rehab, to focus on strengthening the area, to focus on improving the mobility. Because as I said, I see like I had a foot injury myself, and I kind of take this advice myself. I only went back doing the cardio stuff in the last couple of weeks because I'm actually going to do a Hyrox now just because I've been injured. I have a stress reaction in my foot. But I see some people who, when they have like, see a stress reaction or a stress fracture, is we think that especially is okay because it's not a muscle or a tendon that's going to get irritated. So, oh, you can get on the bike, you can get in the pool and start doing cross training and keep your cardio up. And I just think it's like, well, I obviously got some balance. I know what I did. I just was wearing spikes and I did that faster race and my foot wasn't kind of, I didn't really, the load was too high. You know, I always talk about that acute to chronic, that if you have these sudden spikes, that's what gets us, these sudden spikes, as opposed to just gradual progression into that area. But like, I don't then take that time to go, oh, I'll just stay my aerobic fitness really high. I think it's like, okay, well, yeah, maybe I'm a bit over on that. So let's just take this time. You're not going to lose massive fitness. And I can take the time to double down on strength training, double down on mobility, because how many of us, myself included, I'm doing Pilates once a week or I'm doing one strength training because I don't have the time to do the strength training and the running, say. So I just go, oh, I'm doing my running and then I'm doing my strength or Pilates just to kind of prevent injuries. Now, if an injury hits, that's the time where I need to build up the strength. I need to build up the Pilates that I'm doing. Yeah, so I think sometimes when people get injured, they're too obsessed with worrying about the aerobic fitness. Okay, I'm going to get on the bike. I'm going to cross train there. I'm going to cross train in the pool. I did it myself. I had a shin injury when I was in college. I was out for 4 months. And I'm convinced that if I had just rested and done the rehab that I should have been doing, I would have been back in 2 months. And I was like, but I was like pushing it hard on the bike, uh, with the shin and like really yeah, I was doing rehab, but like not as much as I should, or I was still training basically like every day. And I think you need to take injury or illness as a sign that, yeah, your capacity was just overloaded and you either broke down with an injury or you either broke down with an illness. Now, that's not to say that you can train 7 days a week. Like at my peak, I was training 12 times a week. But it is to say at that particular reason, maybe I had a slight infection or stuff was going on, or I just needed to like do it a little bit more gradually to get up to that peak. But I was out for 4 months and there was loads of times where I was coming off the bike, and if I was honest with myself, I'm like, you know what, my shin is still a bit sore after doing that session. So I think I was delaying how quickly I was coming back. And then when you come back anyway, it's very hard to transfer that fitness from a bike to be like, say, race ready or running ready. And so so a couple of things. I feel like I would have been the same amount of time getting running fit anyway. And there is the danger if you're very fit coming off the bike. Now, the only exception to this is I know some elite athletes who are getting ready for like, say, the world championships that are on now, and they have to like, they may as well just scrap this summer. So they had to stay running, training very hard so they can go hit the ground running. But I think for a normal person, the thing to do is one, double down on your rehab, your strength training, and rest days. Take it that I had this overload. Like the way if you're sick, you wouldn't be like, oh, I'll just go. You'll go, look, I need to recover, get back healthy, and then gradually build in again. It's the same. If you get an injury, you should take it that there was this overload in your capacity and take the time to have more recovery in that time. So like, maybe a strength session, a day off, a Pilates session, day off, that kind of element. Okay. So that will give you more recovery time when you're injured so the body can actually recover and heal, as opposed to rehab and then cycle, bike, and we're still actually doing the exact same amount of days, and there's no additional days to allow our body to have energy to heal this injury. Secondly, I always feel that sometimes when you're doing your cross training, you can be pushing that injury. So one, from the energy perspective, two, from like mechanically, it can be working the area a bit harder than it really should be, and it can delay the actual recovery time. So I said with my shin, I was out for 4 months, and I'm convinced if I had done day on, day off of actual rehab, not worried about running, not running, worried about cycling or doing the elliptical, or like swimming was okay. It's not really putting any pressure on, but I think I would have been back quicker. And I was kind of running unfit anyway, because cycling is only kind of bridging the gap a little bit. The other thing is, if you are someone who gets super fit off cycling, well, then it's not a bad thing to be unfit coming back from an injury, because it's a limiting factor. So I have a friend who's had a lot of injuries. He's so aerobically good that he gets himself into trouble. Now, my aerobic system's not great at all. So when I'm back from an injury or back from time off, I'm slow because my heart rate is like a zone 3 is now way slower. Zone 2 is way slower. Zone 1 is slower. Zone 4 is slower. So it's like a limiter on me, which is a good thing. So because I'm actually unfit, I'm building, like, so I'm doing a run, I'm getting my heart rate, like the response it has, but I'm actually slower because I've lost fitness. Which then, as the weeks progress, I'm getting faster, but the body then has got like time to develop that capacity back again. If I'm super fit coming off the bike, and because my aerobics fit, I can run a lot faster than I really should be able to off an injury, which kind of happened to man. He's able to do, and then he doesn't limit himself. So his aerobic is quite good. So he runs then very fast when he comes back, and he gets himself into trouble again because he's able to run times because of his aerobic system that his body isn't really adapted to because he's been out injured. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense to people, if they want to like chime in there, or what they see or what they find with those kind of things off an injury. Do people do cross training or not, or what we do? Well, hopefully you can put it in the comment section, either like in the chat, and then I can move on to the next thing. Okay.
How do we put?
Hey, someone's up.
Oh, hi Owen, it's Jodie.
Jody, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I haven't ever done this before, so I don't know about putting things in chat. But yeah, that was really, really interesting what you just said about overloading. And
Yes.
I think I've probably done that to the sole of my foot. So I did just message you in our chat on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
my question. But I don't know if you've really, I think you've pretty much answered it, to be honest, in what you've just said, which is great.
Can you just ask the question again, just to make sure? Oh yeah, wait there, I have it. I didn't realize the post question. I thought I could just ask it. You can ask on Zoom. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want me to read this out, or do you want to say it yourself?
You can read it out if you want, if it
Okay.
might help other people as well.
Yeah, exactly. Really well. I've been recently wearing my Nike Alpha Fly trainers to race in road running, as I do most of my training off road. Good. I had 3 races in the space of 10 days. Yeah, that's probably an overload. Yeah. Not like not like me, but I run on the road every week doing intervals. My ankles have been aching, but I thought I would just roll them and that would be fine. Then I did a race on Sunday and the sole, the middle of the foot was hurting. It got worse, so I pulled out. I have a backyard ultra on the 27th. Oh my God, yeah, the old, and I'm worried now about it. Firstly, I wonder, do you think it's related to the carbon plated shoes? Yeah, most likely. Do you think it's high impact running? And do you think it is best? What do you think is the best thing for it? Is it getting better? It is getting better already. I'm icing and rolling it. Yeah, you're doing the right things there. It's just a very strange injury, and I wonder if you've had any experience with it. It sounds like you have a little bit of like plantar, or just as you said, because the carbon fiber plate is harder, and it's like I said, that's what happened my foot with the spikes.
Mm,
You're not used to, you're used to doing off-road trail kind of stuff, which is a lot more variable. So
yeah,
you've just put on a much harder pair of shoes, which you need to do, and then racing them like too close of a time.
yeah,
So it's just like I would say the bottom of the foot has just got a little bit of an overload. The fact that it's
yeah,
getting better already and you're rolling it. The only other thing I'd say to you, do Jody, is a single leg deadlift. Where we come back and just
yeah,
hold that for 10 seconds. I would then
yeah,
do like 10 of them or hold it for longer. So all what I'm trying to do with that is you'll get the foot really burning. And what that might do is just really turn on those foot muscles. If there is any like inhibition, sometimes if there is a pain, if we can just really get the muscles working again, they kind of fire, and then that helps take pressure off the plantar and the actual like
yeah.
base of the
Okay.
foot. Yeah, but I
Hmm.
think you're on the right lines. Look, you've done a lot of ultras in the past, so if it's someone else who didn't have them, I'd be like, not a chance. But play it by ear. If it's not one, if it's only a
I
background,
mean,
if it's not one that's really serious.
it's a training run for me, really. So if I get really sore, I will just pull out. But
Yeah,
I did want to do 100K, but if I don't do that, it's not a big deal. It's only a training run for a bigger run in the beginning of next year. So it's just, it's really strange. Whenever I run on the road fast, I do tend to get quite sore ankles.
yeah.
Um, but I do intervals weekly. So I am, and I've been doing this for 5, 6 years, but I do tend to find when I run on the road, and I do my Pilates every week. So I'm
Yeah,
keeping with it. But I do feel that it is either the carbon plate shoes, Nike shoes in general,
yeah.
or I'm not doing something, I'm overloading or not doing something right.
No, I think it's definitely the plated shoes. Do you wear the carbon plated shoes when you're doing your workouts?
Um,
The
so I've got a,
intervals.
I've got intervals, I've got Nike Zoom shoes,
Okay.
and racing I wear Alphas. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might be just that, like as I said, that maybe just for some of the intervals, put on the alphas. If you're getting ready, say if there's a race on in like 2 or 3 weeks, just introduce the alphas even for like half the workout or half the session
Oh,
of
okay.
the intervals,
Yeah,
just to get the
yeah,
foot used to it a little bit more.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't generally race, Owen.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
look,
generally do it, but
and
I'm
I
more
think you
into
have to.
trails.
Yeah, I think you have to say like 3 races in 10 days. We might be having this
Yeah.
conversation if you had one race or
Mm.
3 races in a month. It's like it's a lot when you're not used to using those those runners, those shoes, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I think, look, I don't think from that, it doesn't sound there's any like the fact that it's getting better already. It doesn't sound like there's major issues or anything. Just be careful on the 27th. Um, do play it by ear, and I'd be more cautious than less. You know, if it was like, look, we can gamble here. I think, as you said, it's getting ready for a bigger race. You always, and it's so hard to do, but you just got to think like, if I had it when I say I hurt my foot, and then the nationals was on the next week, and I was like, I'm sure I'll be okay. And my friend was like, look, man, as soon as that race is over, you're going to forget about it. But if you go up and really hurt your foot, you're going to be cursing yourself. And it's the
Yeah.
same. Like, as soon as that background, when it's coming up, you're like, I'd really like to do that. But like on the 1st of October, if you miss it, you're going to be like, look, would have been nice to do, but I'm back training and everything's going great. If you do it and your foot is like super sore after, and you have to take, say, 6 to 8 weeks off, and you're like, well, that's going to screw up the race I had in January or February, and it's like, why did I do that? You know, I just think you need to look at the risk to
Yeah.
reward of that.
So just taper and strength train for the next 2 weeks, and then just assess
Yeah,
it. Right.
taper and strength train and see it, and then most likely, if it was me, I'd probably taper for, like, I just do like you're doing, just go download the week a little bit, see does it improve, get that, keep your Pilates going, just add that single leg deadlift,
Yeah.
like 10 of them, just to really get that foot burning. See if that
Yeah.
improves. If it improves by this week, just start just doing your normal running, but don't be, maybe I wouldn't put on the Alpha Flies now or anything. I just wear my Zooms, do your interval and see how it is. But
Yeah.
then just for the ultra, it's quite a long way. So, you know, maybe you do it like, look, I'll help someone, I'll go for the first half of it or something like that, you know. So
Yeah.
something, I
Okay.
think, look, you'll be able to judge it then. Sometimes when the
Yeah.
race, I do think sometimes it's nice to make that decision, Jody, before the race. So what I'm saying is, when the moment, okay, sorry, I know I just always use my own examples, because I suppose it's the easiest one to think, right? So I'm going to do this Hyrox thing now in November. So I'm kind of getting back in with my foot. There's a simulation, there's like a mock one in the middle of October, say in a month's time. And again, I was talking to my friend Brian about it. It's like, oh yeah, I might enter that. And what I'll do is I'll just run easy for the laps, and then I'll just do the stations. And he was like, be careful, because once you get into it and people are passing you who you're used to beating, you could just get really giddy and jump in. Okay, so what I might do is, but at least if I have the plan of that, whereas if I just go in and I'm like, I'm just going to see how it is, adrenaline is going to get going soon enough. And it could be same in the ultra. You could be like, look, halfway through, I'll judge it. But if you're into the race and you're like, well, look, I already have halfway through, and you'd feel tired anyway, it can be hard in that moment to decide to pull out. Where at least if you have the plan beforehand, it's like, look, I'm only going to do half. Even if I'm feeling great.
I'm not good at that.
That's what I mean. That's why, because if you're not good at it beforehand, during it's going to be an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Okay.
Because even if you're feeling a bit, you're going to be like, unless it's really bad, you're going to be like, you know what, I can just get through it. Especially in ultra, God knows, it's not like it's probably a bigger loop, is it?
It's 4.17, and you do it on the hour every hour. So I think if I feel it's really sore before I start it, I won't do it at all.
Yeah.
And then if I feel that it's manageable, I think you're right, really. I need to set an amount that I'd be comfortable to complete. I think
Yeah.
that might be the right way.
And like, we're here all the time, like, just throw it in the group, like throw it up as a question again, that, like, you know, it's another it's another week. It's gonna be tight. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But we could see here next Tuesday and say, look, how you're feeling. I wouldn't do it. If it was me, I wouldn't. I know I've been in that thing. I was like, I really want to do nationals. I haven't done many faster races. And the guy was right. I didn't do it in the end. And he was like, you won't care. After that race is done, you won't care. But if it does injure the foot more, you're going to be kicking yourself.
Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, good advice. By the way, you'll love Hyrox. It's good fun.
Yeah, no, it's just good to have a challenge, honestly. Like, it's good. I'm just doing it with a couple of friends as well. So it's just good to have a new challenge when we're out. So, brilliant. Okay, great
Yeah,
stuff.
thank you, Owen. Cheers.
Okay, then another question before I get on to what I was saying. Any advice, please, on recovery from what I think is runner's knee? It's been niggling for over a month after overdoing the marathon training. I've reduced my running quite a lot, which has helped a bit, but it feels worse whenever I'm trying to increase running again. Should I stop altogether, or are there exercises I can do whilst also doing a bit of running to keep me ticking over? I generally like to try keep a little bit of running ticking over, especially with, like, say, runner's knee. It's not something that generally improves with training or improves with like complete rest. If you go into the app, into the knee section, look at either the knee rehab 1 or the alternative knee program, and I would start those, and then I would also have my foam roller and go to the quad, and I'd release the hamstring. So I'd do my massage ball on the hamstrings and I'd release off the quad. And that takes a lot of pressure off the knee. Okay, so do those videos, the quad and knee release video, the hamstring release video with the hockey ball or massage ball, and then try the knee rehab. And what I would do is, as long as it's not 3 out of 10 pain, and this will be the same for you, Jody, if the pain's not worse than 3 out of 10, so if it's not like a sharp pain in the actual like foot or knee, it's like a general ache. If it can't make you limp, if it makes you limp or change how you move, one, that's telling us the injury is a little bit more like serious, and two, you could start then like overloading your you didn't say what side it is. So say it's your right knee, you could start overloading your left hip because you're just like now loading it way more. If it's worse the next day, that's why I'm saying to Jody, it doesn't sound that bad because it seems to be getting better. So if you're running and it's like it was a 3 out of 10 yesterday, walking when you wake up, it might be a little bit worse. But like say normally at 11 o'clock, it's 3 out of 10. And now today it's 4 out of 10. Well, that's telling you what you did yesterday has made it worse. It's overworked it. Yeah, that's the one. Sharp pain, shouldn't make you limp, can't be worse the next day. I feel like there's one more. Oh, no swelling. Yeah, so then I would do the quad video. I would do a little bit of running, but like I was saying there, I would take the time to maybe cut back the running I'm doing so I can put in the rehab. So I might do the rehab twice a week. The quad training, you can do that watching TV. As I said, I'm bet into the Traitors Ireland here. That's why I was stuffing my face at the start of this thing. So you can just do rolling your quad, putting the massage ball onto the hamstring, and that's all in the knee rehab section of the app. Okay, another question before I get back to my rants is there a way of judging 10K or 5K pace when you've not done one in a while? I'm thinking of the V dot. You can't, I'm not going to get into V dot, but it's kind of another kind of like thresholdy type thing. I would just do it, right? The main thing, if you haven't done 5K or 10K work, is overdoing it. Okay, that's the main thing. When I have a minute on, minute off, we all have a tendency of overworking that. The intention of working a bit faster. So what I would do is, if you have a 5K, you can put in like what you think. Mike, was that your question? No.
It was, yeah, because
Brilliant.
it's been a long time. Like haven't done a 5K or 10K in a long time, so I don't think my fitness is maybe where it was
Yeah,
back when I had
100%.
PBs and
Definitely
all of
not.
that type of stuff. It's just not there. But I'm kind of wondering then what kind of way should I attack it?
Yeah.
You know?
And what you're thinking there, Mike, is runners, right? I'm like this as well. I don't know what it is, right? It's like one of the hardest sports to do. But we all think we're like wimps. Like we're always like, oh, I'm not mentally strong enough. So really what's going on there with your head is like, your 5K PB is too hard. Like you wouldn't be able to run that
Yeah,
PB right
I
now.
don't think so.
No, you're getting ready for a marathon, say, like, or a
Yeah,
half marathon. It's like if we dropped you in, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like what we're trying to do, especially in a marathon block, is just get a little bit of turnover.
yeah.
So what I would do is say what's your 10K PB?
PB's around 36. So,
36.
but it
So
wouldn't
let's
be anywhere near that now, I'd
yeah,
say.
so let's say
You
would you
know.
run a 38 at the moment or a 40 maybe?
Yeah, probably a 38 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So if there's two things I would do. One, I would either like intentionally just go out at like slower than 10K pace. Even if I be
Okay.
down at 5K or slower than 5K, I would definitely be able to run this type of pace. So if I'm just
Yeah.
doing it for a minute on, minute off, I'd be like, just a minute in or 2 minutes in, honestly answer myself, like, if I just had to keep this going for 40 minutes, could I?
Yeah.
You know, because what happens is usually the minutes on, people are working way too hard. Okay. So
Yeah.
then the other thing you could do, Mike, is actually just take it at 38 minutes or 39 minutes or 40 and go to the track. So say if it's 400 meters, because it's only 400 meters, say it's going to be like 90 seconds or whatever, 80 seconds. Just run the 400 in whatever it works out at, like 85 seconds or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Take your 45 seconds or a minute off and then do that. And it should feel smooth. The heart rate as well the heart rate shouldn't be going above basically zone 3 heart rate.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're getting a minute recovery, the heart rate will come down. So the heart rates should stay at zone 3 the whole way through.
Yeah.
It'll spike a little bit at the end of the rep, but it'll come back down before you start the other one.
Yeah, I think there's like a 1600 on 10K, and I think it drops down to 1200 at 5K pace, and it goes back up to a
it's a 5K. It's a 5K session. Now, that would be different, right? I put that session. That's like a key 5K workout when you're getting ready for 5K. When it's buried in the middle of
marathon training,
buried in the middle of marathon training. The key thing you got to remember, guys, with your training is this: if I'm doing it, the key when we're doing stuff at the distance. So if we're doing a marathon-based session, or if you like a half marathon-based session, so say if some of those longer runs, they're the harder runs in your week. So you're doing a 2.5 hour run with a session in the middle. That's the hard thing. Speed work, or for other people, distance above, they should feel easier. I'm not looking to do, oh, by the way, let's have an absolutely hockeyed session. Because Monica had the same thing. She's like, I have like 10, or someone was like, I have 12 hills. Yeah, 12 hills. 12 hills can be done like flat out. That's fine. But 12 hills when you're in marathon training should be just like a little bit of a light pickup. And that's all I want for you in that. I'm not looking for you like to run PBs. You should be coming off that session going, I could have definitely done another rep or two of that.
Brand, yeah.
So take the 10K pace stuff at like half marathon pace and take the 5K stuff at 10K pace. The idea is just you've just been doing a lot of slogging type training. Like in fairness to Jody, she does it well, where it's like, if you're doing a lot longer stuff, it's not about killing yourself on the intervals. It's just like, let's keep a little bit of this work in. So when you're doing marathon pace, it's not going to feel like this is the, like, I'm flat out.
This is my max.
This is my max. It's like I'm actually used to running a bit quicker.
You can go faster.
But I don't want that session to feel like, holy shit, like I'm really like hoping for the end here.
Yeah. That makes sense, because I was looking at it going, God, I'm going to absolutely bury myself in this. I'm going to throw myself into this one now and try and hit these times.
And that's what I don't want with that session. If it's like, say, I've done that session and you would dread it. If it's 10 days before a 5K, 10 days before a 5K, I'm like, this one we got to hit. You're going to hit your target, whatever your target is.
Yeah.
In the middle of a marathon block, or if it's like the 400s that I sometimes have, they should feel like we're chilling. They're like, geez, this is nicer. I can actually the thing I always say is looking good, feeling easy. You should be thinking, if someone is looking at you, you look relaxed, you look smooth.
Yeah, good posture.
And then you're feeling like, this is a lovely pace. I'm like feeling good. You don't want to, because we've all been there and I've been there where you're pushing hard. And your times might be faster, but it's like I look like no one was
out the window.
Yeah, nobody's thinking I'm looking good here.
Yeah.
So what we want, looking good, feeling easy. It that like, the other thing we could do with that is always, the only thing I'm worried about on intervals, especially when people are doing longer stuff, is them going too fast. The intention of trying to go fast will be fast enough. So even on those, like if you had it in your head say when you're doing the 1600 at 10K pace,
Mhm.
that you're going out for like, say, 2000 or 2500.
Okay.
You'll naturally go like, I couldn't hold this pace for like double this
Yeah.
distance. So when you finish, like, you'll still be working, but you shouldn't be
Yeah.
coming over the line after 1600 going, I couldn't do another lap. You want to be coming to that 1600 going, yeah, I could hit another lap here, but I actually
Yeah.
have my break, and the break is a
Yeah.
is a
2
lap
minutes or
jog.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's 3 minutes. It's like a
3
nearly
minutes.
lap jog. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just to
Perfect.
get a little bit of turnover.
Yeah.
Peter Lynch, he came 24th there on the Worlds.
Yes, I see
buzzing
that.
for him. He does loads of that kind of work. They do
Yeah.
loads of that. It's still a lot of distance, but they're doing kind of faster work just so that the body is comfortable with those speeds.
Yeah.
We want, what can happen is your non-elites have a tendency to just do the samey type training. It's all just that like block training. They're not hitting the other things. But what can happen then is when they do the other bits, it's good enough just to do them, but then they're like trying to overly push them. Okay.
Yeah.
My God,
Perfect.
we got loads of questions. All right, brilliant.
Thanks for that, Owen.
Great, thanks, Mike. Best,
Cheers.
really good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't see Niglin. Okay, I think that's it then. Okay, I have a couple of other things, and then I have to go back down and watch the rest of this trailers before it gets spoiled on me. Okay.
Sorry, Owen.
Okay. Yeah, hi, Teresa.
I had one question. I put it in, I think, before you put the link up. It's just in relation to strapping your ankle for stability.
Yes, for K-tape. I saw that. Sorry, I knew there was another question. Yeah, so you can definitely do that. I'll try find the video for you. Yeah, if you strap your ankle, if you're feeling that you're rolling on it or things are going wrong, you can use K-tape or any other tape. Thanks, Mike. You can use K-tape or any other type of tape. The K-tape might be a good one to use, Teresa, because there's a little bit more flexibility in it.
Yeah, I've been kind of messing around with it, trying to do it on some runs, and I definitely think it helps. And I've got the Dublin Half Marathon this weekend, so that's the reason. If there was I've tried a few different ways, but I'm not sure what's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I'll look up one. The best one to do is basically like it's kind of like an X around your ankle. I'll send you a video for it. I'll go on YouTube and I'll find one and I'll send it through to you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, that'd be brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thank you so
and
much.
let's try it for the half marathon, and then you'll either know, that way.
Yeah, no, I definitely, even me doing it, my half hours trying to do it is definitely helping. So, but it's just if I'm doing it the right way for my, it's just because flat foot, so it's.
Yeah, no, we'll do one and we'll see how it helps.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a million for that.
Okay, last couple of things. I'm going to be very quick on these because these are just some of my rants. Okay, one, I usually have a smoothie, that like frozen kale or spinach, banana, protein powder. I'm actually taking a little bit of creatine now twice a week. Don't know if it's making much bit of a difference, but it's meant to be good for muscle growth, so I said I'd take it. Never took it before, so I'll be interested to see how it goes. But I literally forgot my smoothie after my workout today, so I went down and got like a protein shake. Guys, I paid £4 for one of these shake things, and it had like it's like this is food or something it was called, and it's like with like these vitamins and minerals. Look, they had nothing else, so I had to buy it now. So obviously I'm still fuming that I'm £4 down on that. But when I started reading it, it's just like UHT milk. It's that like milk you get in like Spain that doesn't need to be refrigerated. And then they just added a load of so all they're doing is taking UHT milk, putting a load of sweeteners in it with like chocolate and all the sweeteners, and then taking a freaking multivitamin tablet, basically grinding it down and putting it into it. So don't get thinking that sometimes when they're putting all these things on it, that it's like, oh, that's a health drink. That is not a health drink. I drank a multivitamin tablet and a sweetener, basically, with extra protein in it. So yeah, like don't think that Athletic Greens is like that as well. Don't think that just because they're saying there's loads of these things in this drink or this thing, it's healthy for you. It's not the case. The best way is just get a multivitamin and then have like, if I want a green drink, have frozen kale. They have it in like Aldi. Add your own, like I have unflavored like protein powder. Add your own banana for flavor, or add your own like berries. You should see, if you tasted my protein powder, you would think it's cement. It is absolutely, there's no taste off the thing. It's disgusting. So there's no, what I'm saying is there's no free lunch. And people, marketers know if I add stuff to it, it's like literally a magician's secret. Look at this hand so you don't see this stuff. Okay, so yeah, like look, I had to pay for it because I needed like a protein shake, but don't be thinking like, oh, well, I have this Athletics Greens and it has all these things. If they're just adding it to it, you may as well just have a multivitamin. There's no benefit to it. Unless it's actual spinach they're putting into it, or actual, look what the actual ingredients are versus, oh, it has this, all these vitamins. Just take a freaking tablet. It's not going to cost you £4 per tablet, you know? So that's the last thing. Make up your own natural ones if you can, because then you're adding it in and then you know what you're putting into it. Mine is unflavored. It is absolutely diabolical on its own. So I have to add the banana. I don't have vanilla in it or anything like that. So I add my banana. If that's not sweet enough for you, it'll take you a little while to get used to it. My little nephew, like, my brother has like the vanilla one, and it's like, oh, he's like, I love that smoothie. So he'd always be taking some of my brother's. And then I was having my smoothie. He's like, do you want some of that? And he had a little bit. And he's like, not a chance. That'll tell you, you know, it just takes a little while. Last thing is where I'll do the next one next week. But basically, it's where mental toughness, like what we're talking about, Mike, where that is actually important. Look, I'll do it right now. It'll take me 2 minutes. People think like, I can't listen to someone say in a race again, I just didn't have the mental strength. You can't in a race like try harder than you're trying. People have to understand that. In the race, you're trying your hardest. You mightn't think it is, but there's something going on. Where the mental strength can kick in is today, I was saying, doing that, like, so I was doing a rower, 5-minute cycling. So row for a K, 5-minute cycle, that ski erg for 1,000. And because I was doing like, the Hyrox can go on for an hour. So I done a 20-minute kind of run to get back into it. Then 1,000 ski erg, 1,000 cycle, 500 cycle. After second set, I was having these questions to myself, like, oh, I can't keep going. Like, let's just do 2 sets of this. And I was like really feeling tired. And then I just said to myself, you know what? No, I am doing 3 sets of this. I do not care what happens. Okay. I was like, I don't care how slow I have to go. I'm just getting the 3 sets done. Because that was the thing I was fearing, doing more. That's where mental strength is important, because it's so, that would have been the hard thing. It could have been really easy to go, I'll just go super hard on the second set. But the thing I was fearing was doing 3 sets. The thought of having to come back and do it again. I'm already tired after 1 set. Okay. And once I resolved myself, it's like, I do not care. I do it in races as well, where sometimes you're like, I need to drop out. And I just say to myself, I'm not dropping out. Whatever happens, I'll walk over the line. I'm not dropping out. All of a sudden you feel a bit better because your brain's not thinking I have a choice anymore. You're like, this is what we're doing. And then, yeah, so your brain's not thinking I have a choice. This is what I'm doing. You commit. Now, the second thing you do then is you don't have to go flat out. It's like if Mike is worrying about that session, I'm like, just get the whole session done, Mike. What I'm not going to say is just get the whole session done and try your hardest. And that can happen. Because when you make the decision and you're on your last set, you're kind of a little bit buzzing that you're like, I've got here. And there's a tendency then to really push. Don't push. Just get through it. Just get through it. Because there was a reason your body was talking that way. You are probably tired. So I just got through it. I just kept the same rhythm and I got the same pace as the other ones. And I was delighted with that. Okay, so, and then in the race then, I'll have that. When I'm getting tired, I'm like, oh God, I can't keep going. It's like, yeah, but remember that training session where you wanted to you only do 2 sets, but you did the 3. That's what gives you the confidence. I said it before. People are like, oh, I don't have confidence. Confidence comes from competence, from having done things. Otherwise, it's just arrogance. It's just deluded. You need like, what can you fall back on? I did this in training. That's why I think I'm going to do this. And then the confidence just comes from like the confidence comes from the commitment that you just consistency doing the training, like that allows that. And then that just comes to the courage to start, just to go for it. So mental strength in races does not exist. Everybody's trying their hardest. It's that thing, a few have the will to, everyone has the will to win, few have the will to prepare. If you are in a session and you've given yourself something to do and you're fearing it, just say, I'm doing this. That's where it's hard. That's you're like, look, I'm not giving myself an excuse to like come out with this. Because if I knew if I did that, I'll be dreading it all day. I'll be like, oh, why didn't I finish that? On the flip side of that, I was like, I'm getting this done, but I wasn't saying if I needed to take 20 breaks to do it, like take a stop, go again, I would have done that. But I'm just getting it done. And even though I didn't need 20 breaks, I didn't then halfway through the last set go, oh my God, what a brilliant one, and absolutely cane myself either. I had the discipline, just like, let's just get through this and finish it. And it was buzzing. Okay, I gotta go. I want to watch the rest of that Traitors, guys. Thanks so much for the questions, Mike and Jody. Thanks, Brendan, Teresa, and Dave. And I'll send that video on, Teresa. Thanks a million, guys. Take care.